Please enjoy the show. Welcome to a brand new episode. This is why we can't have nice podcasts. Low Thirst, tell us who we are. Matt, Dro, Show, and yeah, how y'all been since y'all last episode?
You know, same old shit. Work. Other than
Black
that,
in
for a while.
You know, Black in America. Same shit, different day.
That's illegal. Anyway, first order of business. Since I'm watching like fucking streams, might as well talk about video games. The lovely folks over at Sony decided they thought it would be a good idea to drop a BLM theme. You know, I'm all for that. You know, that sounds like a good idea. Until
Oh no, it was a great idea.
Great idea, right?
It truly was, because they actually donated and matched donations towards the movement.
You know, great idea. But
Stand by what you believe in.
According to certain people of fairer skin descent,
Color of men.
They are upset. Their feelings have been hurt. They are offended because they feel like their gaming console has brought in politics and put in and supported a group that is a terrorist organization of racial proportions, like the Ku Klux Klan, and that's what said discrepancies with the Caucasus community has been bestowed upon within these comments.
You ever had some white people tears? It's refreshing.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It needs some type of salt or something. You know, it's just bleh.
Just you could do that yourself, but
no, that's the one thing that don't need salt.
Yeah.
No seasoning. Yeah, I mean, I really don't fucking understand why this is still an issue.
Because most of those whites are upset that Sony is recording chat logs now, and they about to get busted for saying the N-word. And then when he dropped that N-word, the whole digital library about to be deleted. That's what's gonna happen. That's why they upset.
Nigga said no PS Plus, nigga.
They upset because they want to be Logic so bad.
I'm black.
Ain't that right, Logic?
Shut up. Anyway,
speaking of that, you got mad.
Yeah,
like you spent like a quarter.
Oh my god, we're not doing this, bro. I'm not Logic,
nigga.
You better not say Logic. Joe Budden's gonna pop up and say, "Yo, you pandering right now, my guy. Stop it."
Stop. Don't get me started on that.
They just called you Logic in front of everybody.
But real talk though, why? I don't know. Like they upset for no reason. It's like, why are you upset?
They're upset for a reason. They're either A, ignorant, B, racist, C, both.
What makes me laugh about this, a lot of the comments is like, I don't need this politicking and crap in my games. Do you not realize that damn near almost every good AAA title has something about politics in its story, or injustice, or oppression? Like, you motherfuckers done played through all of Far Cry. You didn't play through Assassin's Creed. Even though this game wasn't even that good, you didn't play through Homefront: The Revolution. You didn't play through Metro Last Light. You didn't play through Dying Light.
I mean,
A lot of this shit has prejudice behavior and fucking oppression rooted right in it. Y'all can sit there and play games. Y'all can play X-Men. Y'all can play all these other stuff.
Dishonored.
And completely miss the message of what it stands for. Or y'all just don't care about it because it's digital media and you don't have to pay attention to that because that's not your real life. So basically what you're saying is that you want to continue being racist, and as long as it supports you being racist or ignorant to the real issues, it's good gaming. But the moment it starts addressing real life issues that become problems, now all of a sudden it's too much.
I mean, first and foremost, these games do address real life issues. That's why they address them. Second of all, it's good that you named the set games that you named, but Ghost of Tsushima deals with similar issues that might be bestowed upon within the community.
Ghost is actual history.
The Last of Us, like, is known for its tones of oppression, discrimination, and themes that are for people that don't have, whether it be the LGBT community or people that just live in poverty or lost something. It's very fucking idiotic that we still have to have this conversation. I'm more done with having this conversation with certain people. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and I was literally like, yo, I don't have it in me to be arguing about race in this country. It's like, it's a lose-lose situation. I could be 100% right in what I'm saying. If you're choosing not to listen to what I'm saying, I'm just talking on deaf ears. I wasted my breath. That's an L for me. And then if I sit there and get upset at your ignorance and racism, that's probably what these motherfuckers want. So I just lose again. It makes no sense for me to just it makes no sense for me to dive into the shit or really just argue with people constantly about what the meaning of BLM means compared to what you think it means, and why these events need to happen and why this suppression needs to stop. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of talking about it.
See, I go this route. Y'all say something once, you don't believe it. Continue doing that. Someone's gonna bust you in the lip. Oh man, I should never said that. That's what's gonna happen nowadays.
I mean, it's more or less for me one of those situations where Google's your friend. If it's someone that's older, I might have a little bit more empathy. Because it's like, it's unfortunate.
Nope.
Zero.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Because it sucks. It sucks that you're fucking ignorant. And it's not my job to change that. So you can choose to live in your miserable, ignorant world, because there's no such thing as a happy, ignorant racist. No such thing. It doesn't coexist. It sucks. I feel very, very sorry for those who fucking open their fucking eyes and see the fact that the way they're living is wrong. But I'm also going to fucking exhort my voice trying to argue that to some ignorant racist person. I'm just not. Or fucking coon to say the least. It's just not. It's too much energy. Even now, like, having to explain that just took way too much fucking energy. I'm good. But like,
black crime.
Oh, shut up. It's like, I get tired of that argument. I get tired of, but we're doing this and we need to do that. No, nigga, this the conversation that is happening, that what we're talking about, why X, Y, and Z matters, is not the it's like there's a conversation, a time and place for everything. If we're talking about apples, don't bring up oranges. You look like a coon trying to do that dumb shit. And it's like,
oranges, they're bringing up rockets. And we're talking about Pokemon.
Exactly. That's a better analogy.
We're talking about Gatorade. You're talking about fucking space rocks.
Like, I like eggs. Like, motherfucker, we don't fucking...
Don't you bring Ed into this.
Like, fucking butter toast ass niggas. Like, I'm done.
Nah. Don't bring Ed into this. My man put that rock in his shoe. He probably racism.
But no.
Man, level the White House.
Me personally, I just don't feel Like I feel like the same way as last episode when we were talking about like the fucking debate, how that shit went, and I like me just feeling like all types of disheartened and shit. Like that's how I feel for the most part.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna continue saying we are fucked whoever wins.
Oh yeah, nigga, we getting fucked by the Gimp in Pulp Fiction, nigga.
Listen, we got
Yo, like,
between a giant douche and a turd sandwich.
yep.
And
And the worst part is,
LeBron will be performing his new hit single "Vote or Die."
speaking of new singles,
No,
yo,
time out, time out. Here's one thing I gotta address. Can y'all stop blowing up? Not y'all, but yo, we get it. We have to vote. There's not
you can
one
turn that shit up on
celebrity.
your Facebook.
No, there's not one celebrity. There's not one IG person that has made an effort to vote that has addressed either a single issue of why you should vote other than the fucking obvious.
It's like
It just looks like all y'all are doing this for clout. Y'all all look dumb if y'all don't keep this energy up next year. Where was this energy last year? Is this energy going to be focused upon when it comes to the politics that affect everybody after our election?
when you do the
Absolutely the
House or the
fuck not.
Senate, you gotta vote for all of that.
Absolutely the fuck not. And it's just annoying that like I have to every other post is like, oh, you gotta make sure you vote early. No, nigga, how about we just vote? You shut the fuck up and don't bother me about voting. And I can't.
Speaking of voting,
No, I'm talking. It's like not even turning my notifications off. It's like I can't even do anything without seeing 50 million fucking posts about make sure you vote, nigga.
I don't see none of them.
That's you. That shit's
So
flooded
I
on my
turned that shit the
fucking
fuck off.
yeah.
You turn notifications itself the fuck off?
Speaking.
Like you can turn like as far as like Facebook goes, you can turn that off.
Oh, no. I'm talking about like
Other people saying that?
yeah.
Well, that's why I don't pay attention to other people.
Like I'm just like, what's on my
I
feed
got my own
today?
problems right now. Like we already understand how important it is to vote, but like
You're talking to a bunch of grown ass adults. Like, vote. Like, we get it. Just vote. Want to vote. You can either vote early or vote the day of.
Speaking of campaigning, yo, Biden Harris is going down the Hillary Clinton route.
Huh? I didn't hear.
Biden Harris campaign is going down the Hillary Clinton route. Do you see that video that I posted in the group chat?
Fucking God.
something about battle rap.
First and foremost,
Is an actual campaign.
clips, DNA. Why? Just why? I get what you're doing, but why? And this is the shit I'm talking about where I don't need to see this shit. We're voting anyway. Like, I thought we were past the point of trying to drill in the head that we need to vote. I'm
like,
how much is
real?
all y'all like?
All right, this is slightly against the grain here, but what if we're not the people they're trying to reach with that?
That is a good point.
That's a good point, but
like that's just what I'm thinking about. Like, I feel like we're not the people that they're trying to reach with that. I think that they're trying to reach like the general ignorant ass motherfuckers who would just sit there and watch battle rap 24/7 and just not care about anything else. Like, I feel like that was for them. We could see how stupid that was.
I'm like,
We can see the asinine all the way down the street. But like, maybe it wasn't for us.
That shit made my like just that shit made my dicks off. Like 2020.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
The shit that aggravates me about all that is just that like I thought we were past the pandering to get everybody to fucking vote because it's a presidential election year.
Nope.
We do realize we're voting for some shit that's basic human rights, and we should be focusing on why we should vote due to the reasons given above, whether you're a fucking Republican or Democrat, whatever the case may be. Don't just vote don't just tell people to vote because you feel like telling people to fucking vote. That just looks mad fucking stupid. Like, to me, that just looks so stupid. Like, oh, y'all need to vote. Y'all gotta make sure y'all vote. Just push. People already made up the American citizen has already made up their mind if they're gonna vote or not. Seeing a whole bunch of ads shoving it down people's throat might just annoy them to not do it, or just be annoyed to vote.
Or they're gonna vote for the wrong reason. Like, oh man,
they're basically triggering that response of like, if you're about to go pick something up off the floor and then somebody tells you to go pick it up the floor, now you're not going to do it because you feel like somebody's trying to dictate what you're going to do or what you should be doing instead of you doing it.
I have to
listen.
This is bad enough. I gotta tell people to vote during my phone calls for work, and then while I'm making these phone calls, these members are like, "Hey, don't forget to go vote." Like, I know I'm voting for already. Like,
if you're in New York, do not tell me to vote before fucking October 24th. Don't do that. Don't, like, it's so fucking annoying. Like, stop. Just stop. Like, especially if y'all know y'all demographics, majority of New Yorkers. Like, shut up. Fuck. Like, it's like I can understand why they're doing it. I just don't like the pandering to voting when it's only a presidential election. It just further produces the narrative of the president is what we need to be looking for, and not our Senate, not our House of Representatives, not our local representatives at all. That's stupid to me. And you're trying to get people into politics, into seeing what's going on with your country and all this other extra shit, but all you do is just focus on presidential elections. I could tell you straight up, for those who in our fan base that don't know, president really doesn't do shit. It's the House of Representatives. But Trump is a rare exception because Trump is basically fucking Joffrey. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's just going to do whatever he wants fucking regardless. And that's what the fuck's happening. They can't control the little nigga, and that's why we got the muck that we have now. But usually what happens is he looks at the laws, might give a final say so on it. He might give a say so, yes or no on it. But the Senate and the House of Representatives is the motherfuckers that actually do shit, that actually get shit done, that actually see how much goes into our community, what in everybody else's community. And I'm very much generalizing it. It's way deeper than what I'm saying, but if you're going to focus so much on voting this year, focus on voting next year. Focus on voting the year after that. It's going to be just as of important an election. 2022 is going to be just as important as 2020.
Yep.
So for the love of God, please, with sugar on top. If you're going to vote, vote. If you're unsure about voting, read about both fucking candidates of whatever topics you're voting, whatever candidates you're voting for in your representative state, and then go for the one which best for you. I don't give a fuck who you're voting for. All I know is this election really doesn't mean shit compared to what other people are trying to say it is.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like really getting shit faced.
That's how I vote. Because I vote independent. I always vote third party. I've been voting third party since technically the second Obama election. I voted for Obama, but I voted everybody else in the Senate and stuff independent. Right. I've been third party since then because I rather have some flexibility when it comes to politics. Because you could be aggressive and conservative. There's positives and negatives on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you got now everyone recently just want to be radicals about it. It's like, I'm being radical progressive, radical conservative. And it's like, and that's how you bump heads when you try to get people to actually learn about your beliefs and politics.
Vote. It's like, you know how I feel like right now? What we should do? Every conversation that we have, we should just randomly cut to the guy saying smoke from Family Guy, but it should just say vote.
Are you smoking yet?
Are you voting yet? That's how I feel. Like, stop fucking pandering to me. I'm a grown ass man. I know what I'm gonna do. Relax.
It's basically like they're pandering, and then on the same side, they're also on the same coin. They're also spreading fear, because they're like, "Oh, this one's really important because we need to do this and we need to do that."
Don't vote. Don't vote for Trump. The only reason why I'm gonna tell people this right now. It's going to be a whole shit show if Biden becomes president. Not because of Biden, because on January 22nd, when
they're gonna riot.
Trump has to vacate the office, there's going to be indictments. There's going to be a shitstorm sabbatical that's going to happen from Donald and his cabinet.
It's gonna be everyone else. Donald's not gonna get arrested.
It's gonna be like SpongeBob, the fucking anchovies invading fucking invading the fucking Krusty Krab. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like. Mad chaos. Like, and nothing's gonna happen because they're gonna be pussyfooting around situations so fucking much that they're gonna just pander to everybody imaginable. Some people might receive tax hikes that shouldn't receive fucking tax and increases. We'll get to that later with Curtis Jackson. There might be, some people might receive income. Some people might not receive income. Shit's gonna get really fucking weird in the next 6 to 10 months. So I want to tell people this: do not think that just because Biden gets elected president, that shit is gonna be fixed. Because I could let you know right now, if he wins in November, shit can still go south ridiculously between November and January. I'm telling you this now. So be mindful, understand what you're voting for if you're going to vote. If you don't vote, cool. I mean, everybody says if you don't vote, your voice don't count. Blah blah. I don't give a fuck about that because that doesn't matter because there's people that vote. Hillary won the fucking popular vote, but Trump won the electoral college.
Stupid.
So that whole if you don't vote, your voice don't mean shit means nothing because we have this idiotic shit known as the electoral college. But that's another story for another time. I do think honestly.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Kanye, I'm just looking up like independent parties that are running, and Kanye West is actually on the ballot.
Shh. Anyway,
birthday party.
I could have went.
Call.
I could have went my entire life without watching a Kanye West campaign video. The fact that there's no one in his circle trying to get him to stop doing that is fucking beyond me. Do I think he's working for Trump? No. I honestly don't think Kanye is under any ploy to work for Trump. I do think people are just letting Kanye be Kanye, not understanding how damaging it is to Kanye and the people around him and his fan base, because he got a lot of young, impressionable people that are 18, 19 years old, 21 years old, who had a chance to vote when Trump got elected, that are there now to support Kanye, and someone needs to sit Kanye down and realize, like, hey, if you're gonna run, prep for 2024. Now, do I care if Kanye West runs for president? No, it really doesn't affect me that much. But if you really look at the situation of what's happening, then no. For those of you saying that if you don't vote, every non-vote is a vote for Trump, no. New York is a very blue state. It's very much a blue state. It's probably going to stay a blue state. I don't give a fuck if it changes to a red state. It really doesn't concern me that much because there's a lot of other fucking states. I think New York has 20 electoral votes compared to the majority of the other states you need to win. Yeah, it's just complicated, and I hate talking about politics nowadays because it's just a big ass fucking concussion.
Unfortunately,
This whole thing is just a headache.
It's just a
Let's spiral away from the politics and kind of just segue back to what we were initially talking about. Now it's just the people who are just mad over a fucking theme that's free, that you don't have to pay for, that is your option to download. It's like the moment they just see anything with BLM on it, they just instantly choose to be outraged.
Oh my god, triggered! Like,
and it's weird because they sit there, and I've made this statement earlier today. They sit there and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, and they're terrible, they're horrible." They can say all this in the same breath, but yet the same people who are saying this have said nothing about the KKK. They're calling Black Lives Matter Marxism, and they saying it's partnered with Antifa, and all this just ignorant techno babble they hear the next person say, and they all band together like a big wave of idiocracy, and ignore facts of the fact that the actual terrorist organization has been and always will be the KKK and the fucking Nazis that are just chilling in plain sight. The neo-Nazis or whatever, some of them are actually cops, just like the KKK. Some of them are fucking firefighters, probably. There are people. There's pretty much probably one of them in almost every field of something. Everything is infiltrating.
No, you're right, 100% on that.
But they sit there and they look at people who are like, "Yo, I want my life to be considered equal," and they're like, "Nah, y'all terrorists." When it does it, it takes only one person, either from their group or actual person who really does back Black Lives Matter, to do something, and they'll just use that to spearhead the entire movement. They had people literally just spray painting Black Lives Matter somewhere, and it wasn't even remotely close to how anyone of any type of seasoned, because they're male. They don't use any seasoning. So any seasoned person wouldn't just go to a graveyard and desecrate it and put blacks rule.
Only white people do that dumb shit.
Like, it's just, but they'll use that. They'll use the looting and the rioting that happened and just immediately blame black people for it, as if the police weren't the ones leaving bricks in every high value, not even high value, low value area where things could be smashed and broken into.
And a lot of people don't realize that, because a lot of people like to use the you're destroying your community as an excuse, but at the end of the day, those communities are those properties and small businesses. They don't own those businesses. They're owned by the banks. So the community you live in is actually owned by the banks. At the end of the day, so it's like,
while we're on that topic, okay, that's a good point, and my glasses almost fell. A problem I have in regards to that would be when people like saying that we're destroying our own community and shit like that.
it's not ours.
What? Nah. What are we really destroying?
Because they've given us the worst of the worst.
We're destroying. You're being mad at poor people for being poor. So when they loot shit like jewelry stores and phone stores, shit that has been subjected to give them value in their life, you're blaming them for destroying that. What supermarkets are being looted? I seen one pharmacy get looted. I seen a few sneaker stores get looted. I seen cops
loot sneaker stores.
I seen cops put a gate. You know, I seen cops, pry open a gate and then allow looters to loot. I seen peaceful protesters walking over the Brooklyn Bridge trying to go home, and they pinned them in between the bridge.
Cattle
so
them.
so they will miss curfew, so it gives them an excuse to arrest them. I seen that.
You know, the funny thing
We
is,
need to stop blaming poor people for being poor and trapped. Because the deep conditioning of what our environment is, and we just like to point the finger of, oh, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Why? Because this environment is given to us by the same people that want to see us fail.
You know
So
what's
why
crazy?
so why not destroy it and make it into something better in some cases, ideally. But
You know what's crazy? They say like, you know, it's the people from Black Lives Matter looting and rioting and breaking up all these stores and whatever. But honestly, it's people in poor neighborhoods, and if there are people out there rioting, I figure, and this is probably like as truthful as it gets, if they're out there and they're actually rioting, these people are taking things that they need to get back to their homes to for like basic survival. Whereas there are people of higher standards breaking into like Apple stores or breaking into high value areas to steal something that would not change how they live their day to day, not even in the slightest. They're going and they're stealing like fucking like Louis shirts and stuff that a poor person wouldn't even be bothered to look at. They like if the world went to shit right now, even more than it actually is, the rich would die.
yep,
The rich would die so fucking fast because their money would have no value and their skills and their abilities and their personality would mean shit. They would become legit the new poor. If something else was made as currency, they'd be fucked. If we were in like a metro last light system where bullets became currency, a lot of them would be fucked. Well, bullets a bad like fucking choice there because
but no,
a lot
yeah,
of
but
shooters.
given your
But,
situation, but
but like
go
let's
on.
say let's say like toothpaste. If toothpaste became currency, they're fucked up. Like
yep.
that's just how it is.
And the worst part is, like, as soon as de Blasio's daughter's mugshot went out, all that curfew shit stopped immediately.
Of course it did.
So it's like all of that curfew shit. Like, she got caught on purpose.
Like a lot of the shit that's going on is being made by people in power who should have either been retired or passed on their title to someone else.
Like I said, it's the baby boomer generation. They don't know. They don't realize how much damage they have done to the environment, and they don't want to actually pass things down to the next generation.
Like
And when
the
that
shit that
practice,
gets me is like they're sitting there and they're like, there is no way anyone that's a millennial or that's younger than them can have a mindset or an idealistic, viewpoint that would be better than theirs unless they're literally signal boosting the same bullshit that they stand for. Like anything that's even slightly opposing to them, they
is a
have a
problem. Yep.
they're
I
quick
just
to tell they're quick to tell millennials and whatever how they should be living their lives, but then turn around and ask that same group of people for advice on to you how to use their smartphone, or how does Apple Pay work, or
They
how do
call
I
it stupid.
order something offline, or how do I work a smart TV? What's this computer business?
Like I said, they're the first to tell us. You stated they first tell us how to live, but as soon as they need something, they're the first one to bother us.
I
So it's
mean,
like,
A
I
lot of
think
this
our
stuff was supposed to be passed on, and it was actually supposed to be generational for people of each generation to have built up their legacy and make the world better to pass on to the next generation. The problem is that the baby boomers never passed on anything.
They destroyed and leaked.
They destroyed it, stayed, and then called every other generation preceding them
useless. It's like, oh, y'all don't work. Like back in my days, I had a house. Like, yeah, when a house is like $1,300, of course you can get a house.
We get that you used to be able to trade houses for 2 chickens and an orange, but we can't do that shit.
House now is like 500% more than a house back then.
I mean, we can sit here and go back and forth about the actual inflation and mismanagement of our current economy, which is very flawed to begin with. But I feel like the ideology of where I stand amongst us as minorities is simple. Stop blaming poor people for being poor. Stop being mad at trapped people for being trapped and acting irrational because of said trap, and begin reconditioning the environments that we're in. And this just don't go for celebrities, because this goes for the person that talks the immense amount of shit every goddamn day. This goes for me. This goes for you. This goes for, even if it's something as minor as, you know, telling someone not to throw up a fucking gang sign the way you should, like they're doing it. Begin reconditioning the environment. You know, because I was having a conversation with a few of my friends, and with politicians, and they pander to the black vote, especially around this time. Do us as black people need politicians to get our shit done? No. Will it take longer for us to get to where we need to do without help from the government? And would it probably cause a war if we're pissed off enough? Yes. And we're not at the point of we need to go to war. We're already in a war, technically, but we're not at the point we need to go to physical war.
It's gonna be a war.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck do I feel the need to wanna commit violence towards my politicians or police officers, whatever the case may be, when all we're doing is asking for basic help to give us basic shit? That's really what we're asking. And it's not a handout. It's for us to really be given the opportunity that we deserve, and us to be left the fuck alone.
See,
and that's what a lot of people aren't understanding. And I really didn't want to get into this the way I am, but it's like, the fuck is the point of complaining about it to a politician? I just feel like, honestly, just do it.
It's a dying art.
Huh?
At the point, it's a dying art.
You know, it's just us. You know, we do it little by little for ourselves, and then, use that to condition for the generation to come and help us out as well. A lot of people do like the give up analogy, that they're just gonna do certain things, and it's up to the next generation to fix it. No, everybody here has the power to do that, to fix shit now. Everybody here. Why give that responsibility to fucking 16, 17, 18-year-old fucking Chuck to fucking fix? That's not their responsibility.
They're not even going to know how.
You can't expect someone who's I'm sorry, you pushing your agenda to change on an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, you look stupid. You're expecting kids to handle shit that they're not prepared for. It's us as adults, whether 27... It's us at 27 or 65 to guide our country, to help them out. That's what this is all about. Passing the torch. They just make it seem like you just got to deal with it, and then getting mad at the people dealing with it when they realize they don't have to deal with it.
The problem is,
and they shouldn't deal with it.
We're not even getting to pass those torches, because those kids, a good number of them, they're just being snuffed out before they can even reach 20. There are kids that are literally afraid to go to school. There are kids who are afraid to try to, do something with their lives because what we have been shown as black people is that, like, they don't give a fuck. You can get killed for sleeping. You can get killed for wearing a hoodie. You can get killed for playing with your friends. You can get killed for doing things legally. You can get killed for just about everything that somebody of a white skin would not get killed for. And I'm pretty sure that those kids, they'd say, "Oh, we need to pass this down to them." They're fucking terrified. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, unfortunately,
They don't
like
know if they're
most,
gonna make it to tomorrow. They don't
like
even know
most,
if they're gonna be able to make it to their next fucking online class. They don't know if them doing Showtime, it will be the last time they ever do Showtime. Even if I hate that shit, but like, motherfuckers live these days, and no day is actually, granted. Like, you can't just assume that you'll live the next day, or your life won't end whenever. But the actual fear of thinking that your life could end tomorrow over just because you're black, that shit is way more terrifying than the regular uncertainty of just randomly dying just for being out in the street. That's more scary than getting hit by a car. That's more scary than being randomly mugged. That's more scary than, a disease.
like most have said it best.
Like,
Well,
don't bring up.
If you're white, if you're black, is suspect. Mr. Nigga. Most have said that the best way possible. End of the day. So it's like that's the shit that needs to change.
It's not going to take a day, and I'm fucking annoyed to even have to continuously make this conversation.
Oh no, it's not gonna take a day. It's gonna take. It's a long fucking road, and just like, there are people who willfully don't want to have this conversation and don't want to do that. That's why they'll sit here and spew this bullshit. Oh, if you follow police orders, this shit wouldn't happen to you. And oh, this person was a criminal. They'll say anything that will try to make them seem right, rather than the actual overlaying issue that are being treated differently just because they're black. And that shit needs to stop. You can't sit here and say all lives matter, and you're clearly neglecting the black ones. If black is supposed to be part of all, there should be no argument when you hear Black Lives Matter. All lives matter shouldn't be your argument, because clearly, if black is supposed to be a part of all, you should be standing right there with them and be like, you know what, your life does matter, and let's make sure we can get to the point where Black Lives Matter become all lives matter. But that's not where we're going. It's you guys throwing all lives matter as a barricade rather than the actual, I guess.
People say all lives matter to feel included in social causes because they just want to be a victim. I could care less about whoever wants to give me all lives matter me, but yeah. Before we spend a next hour repeating ourselves and driving ourselves fucking crazy.
Wait, before you go into that, because I just remembered I didn't get to make one point that I was gonna make about them just saying Black Lives Matter as the terrorists or whatever. The actual original terrorists in the history of America were Columbus and the white people he brought with him to slaughter the natives.
Every sailor explorer during the colonization era was a terrorist.
Those were the original terrorists. And it just blanketed from there to Africa because you went and grabbed slaves. Those were the original terrorists.
The founding fathers of this country, terrorists. Everyone in this country was a terrorist. They just want to admit that.
When you damn near they'll start crying. A genocide on land that isn't yours, you're a terrorist.
Yep. Genocide to the point that you take away food sources and make them start relying on crap shit as a part of a culture. Yeah.
When you gotta try to rewrite history and try to say that people were invited here and were came here of their own volition when that clearly wasn't the case, you might be a terrorist. Your ancestors might have been terrorists. Ain't nobody willfully come to America to be put in chains and shackles and be treated as subhuman. They were forced by terrorists. So, something for you to put in your pipe and smoke on. Next time you decide you want to say, "Oh, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. America was built by terrorists."
American terrorist.